Don't
We're
go
good.
pressing
We're
anything.
good. I don't think so. Did you push? Is it going? Oh, it says we're live right now.
Okay, good.
Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Hi, Mona.
Thank you
We're
for coming
here.
with me.
We're here. Oh,
I don't
she
see any.
came in earlier.
I don't see comments.
Well, so, oh, hi, Karen. She's live. We can hear her this time. That's awesome. Yay. It just popped up on my phone too that you're live now. So some people will start popping in.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get my phone. I was charging it when we were doing our live. So I got to get it so I can share it out. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you guys so much for being in here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Robyn,
hello, everyone.
Want to talk about like kind of like what you want to do with your lives and stuff?
Yeah. It's if there's any kind of projects that you've started and you haven't gotten to finish it or setting a time to get it finished, I figured a Wednesday night to finish things that we started. Any kind of projects, crafts or other things that you haven't finished, we can share together and get it done in a dedicated time to purposely finish things.
Oh, that sounds cool. So like if I was working on a like say like maybe a sewing project or something, and I was having a like something I didn't understand, or you had maybe a better way on how I could maybe sew it or do it, maybe stuff like that.
Share tips, and if it goes well, we can set up projects to do together, like a sew along type of thing.
Oh yeah, that's a really good idea. I like that. Like gather certain supplies and stuff like that.
It has to be something that is a free pattern. Some things that I do are paid for, and I can't share them.
Oh, right.
Unless I can always give people a link to purchase it, but I am not allowed to share it.
Okay.
But there's also projects that are free, and we can just eventually make plans for a sew along at times.
Yeah, that would be really fun. I think that's a good idea.
Hello, Jen. Hello, Karen. Resourceful Living. Hello, Linda.
So that's what your plans are for Wednesdays. So if anybody wants to check out Robyn on Wednesdays for doing sewing stuff, she's an amazing quilter. Like, you should see some of her projects are just great. She does have videos on her channel showing some of the quilts and places that she's visited as well, right?
Yes.
And then she also does some gardening things on other days as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with what a quilting guild is?
I've heard of it, but I can't explain it.
Yeah. It's usually you leave the house and go to a group of other quilters and sewers, and they crochet and knit and things like that. You have to pay for it, and your dues will eventually pay for a trip to go somewhere. But I imagine this being kind of like a quilting guild where it's free. We're not going on trips that I know of.
Right. Okay. That sounds really cool. So like what would be like some examples of some trips that people would go on? Like,
Around here, they go up to Lancaster County in Pennsylvania, and there's a ton of quilting shops and
thank you.
places that you can buy fabric a little bit, cheaper. And there have been lots of museum trips, and there's been a lot of trips where you would go to a quilt show, like up in Hershey,
Hey,
PA.
Linda. Okay. So I know at our fair that we have, they usually have an area where they have where people do quilts, and it's mostly
Mhm,
quilts. And
mhm.
last year I entered um, some skirts and some aprons that I made, and I
Yeah.
was the only one. It was all quilts.
Yes.
I was the only one who entered in aprons and the skirts.
Yeah.
So I won
That
first and
was
second
fun.
on those ribbons.
There's actually a really big outside quilt show in Oregon, where you're from.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's really cool.
yeah.
I think who is it? Lisa. I think Lisa um, is going to
Oh
that one.
wow.
I think so. With her sister, she has got family in Oregon, and they're closer to where they do that big quilt um,
Hmm.
thing. I've never
Hmm.
been there to that,
I've never been there, but I've seen a lot of it, and it's beautiful. They hang them from the trees and all outside, and
Really?
yeah,
Huh.
all of the vendors set up all of their tables to sell things. And
Oh, that's neat. I know there was this really cool. So there's this
thank you, Linda.
like 200-year-old
Thank you, Jan.
house that's not too far from me where they
Hmm.
upkeep it, and it's kind
Hmm.
of like a museum, and it was owned by a doctor and his wife, and the wife would actually go by boat like
Hmm.
to help different people down the river and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
And so it's cool because they do like days where you dress back in that time period, but
Hmm.
they have like the like old quilts on the old built beds and
Hmm.
stuff like that
Hmm.
in the house. So
Yeah.
it's like a museum. So it's really cool. Like the original wood stove and all
Mm.
the some of the college students had made that time period out of paper, like origami paper, a
Hmm.
vintage dress, the whole thing out of like origami like paper, and
Wow, that sounds
it
neat.
looked like fabric. It looked
Yeah,
so. It
that
was
looks
just.
neat.
I
That
was like,
sounds
what?
neat.
It was cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Mary.
Yeah, I really like the old like history stuff. Um,
Yeah.
you know, like that was a pretty big staple. Like when people traveled to wherever they traveled, there was usually at least a blanket that
Hmm.
came, throughout,
Yeah.
the family
Yeah.
with them.
I love all the history of it too. Um, but I guess, we'll just see how it goes and make plans as I go.
Yeah, and that's fine. And
Yeah.
that's great because sometimes people are like, "Oh, what are we going to do today?"
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
oh, that's neat.
The, an example of, you know, like, this is one of the projects that I don't know if you can see, that we're doing. Mary, who just joined us, her and I are doing this
Oh,
is,
hi,
it's,
Mary.
it's a hexagon. And,
And it's a bee thing.
this, yeah,
I
this
like
is not this project is not something that I can't share, but the patterns that are on it I can't share, so we'd have to make up our own.
Yeah, so if you wanna do that, just, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
is
things
that
like that.
so they're all different squares to do a quilt?
Yeah, it's a hexagon,
Wow.
and then they'll all be, sewn together, and
Gosh, how beautiful is that?
yeah,
Wow. So do
so
you keep all your quilts or do you sell quilts?
I don't sell any, but I do, give them to family members and things like that. I've made baby quilts. My granddaughter, she's 9, and
I know.
she's still having, she still loves her quilt, so
Wow.
hi, Gail.
That's like a really so what got you into wanting to quilt?
Um, I've always been drawn to them, and then there's no quilters in my family. However, my grandmother bought all of the, uh, equipment she needed to start her own quilt and then changed her mind and gave it to me. So I think I was about 17 or 18, and I took it home and I've never stopped.
Wow. You've got some experience and you've gotten to play around with, what you like and what you don't like and
Yeah, yeah.
wow,
I
that's really
was on a live earlier with watching Tina and Gail, Gail from Gail Southern Living and Tina from
life in the
uh,
Piedmont.
Life Life in the Piedmont, and she was mentioning that she has a. There was a conversation about the Civil War, and I mentioned that I have a lot of reproduction Civil War fabrics, and it's one of my favorites. And she said she does too. She
Really?
has, yeah.
So that's just fabric to make a quilt or just
Hmm, hmm. Yeah,
oh, that'd be neat.
yeah,
In
um,
hexagon.
yeah.
Hexagon, that's really cool.
That was my favorite. That was my first quilt, and it wasn't supposed to be for a beginner, but I joined the class um, at a high school. They were given a class, and that was the quilt. And I didn't really belong. It was not a beginner quilt
Yeah?
class, but I wanted to join, and they taught us how to. Our teacher taught us how to, construct our own, draw out our own hexagon and everything. And it's changed over the years how a lot of the methods that they use to make the hexagon quilts, but I sort of stick to the what I was taught.
Hmm.
So
I mean, I feel like I could wing it, but it wouldn't be anywhere near how it's supposed to be. Not even close because I've never I started putting together a quilt just like
hmm,
out of my head,
hmm.
but I've never like seen somebody make a quilt and I don't know. I've
Well,
never seen it make it.
that's
So I don't
that's
know.
that's an idea to go from start to finish on a small, easy project. Um, if that's what anybody wants, it just play it by ear.
Yeah, I know that I have like I want to make a quilt using my dad's ties.
Yes.
And then I have I know this sounds nuts, but I have both my sons' ties from all their little Easter outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them, but a lot of them. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought I could do some kind of a like border of ties and then maybe something in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm not quite ready there emotionally to get into that yet.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually,
yeah.
um,
In case you guys
Marriott.
are wondering, it's just because my dad passed away a few
Yeah.
months back, and so
Yeah.
not yet.
I have a lot of things saved from my dad and my mom and my brother. Um, that I have set aside. A lot of it will probably become a t-shirt quilt, uh, where you stabilize the back and you can sew, cut it out to whatever size you want, and just simply sew the big squares together, and it's kind of like a memory quilt.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I've seen that where people
mhm,
take like if somebody has like a ton of t-shirts, they take
yes,
the t-shirts and do some kind of thing.
yes.
Yeah.
From, all the concerts we went to as teenagers and things like that, people save those, and now they're putting them in quilts.
I wonder if there has to be some kind of I'll have to ask I know some people I can ask
Hmm.
so if there's a quilt guild somewhere near here.
I have them, but I have a kind of funny story that a friend of mine, Bobby, she and I went to a quilt guild, and you can go 3 times before you decide that you want to join.
Mhm.
Well, we decided not to because our first time meeting there happened to be a great big fight when they were discussing the treasury.
Oh no, yeah, you're like, oh, too much drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, I belong to a garden group, and
Hmm.
it's about 20 minutes for me in another town, but the town that's closest to me has a garden group, but they're like that too. Just
Hmm. Hmm.
much
Yes.
bickering going on. Like,
Yes.
no.
Yeah. They were discussing the treasury, and
Oh, there you go, Gail. That's a quilt that Gail could make.
oh wow,
That would be cool. You could
nice.
make a lot of money off of that if you could find all those shirts.
Use the fabric to reproduce antique quilts. We are loving the Hexie project. That's Mary had said that. Uh, yeah, that would be neat. Guns N' Roses and Def Leppard and Kiss.
And some of the cars from like way back then. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Put the hot rods.
Yes.
In there too? Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I didn't listen to a whole lot of that music, just a little bit.
Hmm.
I was more like, the Cyndi Lauper and I don't know.
Madonna.
Yeah, I wasn't it not now. Uh, but I
Yeah.
wasn't I wasn't really into the heavy metal stuff. I won.
Hmm.
I've I was always kind of like I am now. Not
Yeah.
I don't know what people think I am, but not I was never really wild or anything. I always had worked and stuff, so right. Well, Jennifer's a baby. No,
Jennifer
baby.
what?
Well, I was young Jennifer, just to let you know.
I was actually more into Guns N' Roses and Def Leppard
That
and
was kind of your time period, right? And mine
um,
was just like the beginning. Like I listened to the '80s music, but
mhm.
no, it's just more.
They call them hair bands now, and that's what I
Really,
yeah, the hair bands
I
is
can't
like
even keep up with all the new words that they got.
well, they've been hair bands for a long time,
Yeah,
but now I'm so old that they call them the oldies.
I know. I'm like, I'm a classic now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
loved Journey. You might know Journey.
yeah, I
I
love
love
Journey.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I listen to like a wide variety of stuff,
me
really.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like instrumental stuff, like
Mhm.
the fast stuff.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
I don't know.
me too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I didn't get to go to many of the concerts to put in a concert quilt because I had strict parents. So
Yeah, me neither. I actually only went to one concert when I was 12, and it was Madonna.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only concert that I ever went to. But then I've been to a few with my husband,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we
I went to an outside
was
one.
cool. I went to Reba. It was an outside open concert, and that was
Wow.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. They had
So
a
Ron's a baby. You're a baby, but you know what all like my kids love the 80s music, especially my girls, and they like the 80s clothes. Like they know all the 80s songs.
yeah. After she left home at 17, Gail said she went to the concerts.
That's when she broke free.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
left home at 17 as well. It was definitely different time. Mary
Yeah.
says she was a valley girl.
Yeah, techno. Not really techno. It's different than techno.
Yeah.
The instrumental. Look it up. Fast instrumental. You might like it. You never know. You were a valley girl. Like, oh my gosh, Mary. I'm sorry, I had to do that. I was just like me. This but younger.
Yeah, me too.
The 80s hair. Okay, I curled my bangs, but I didn't have, because I was a little bit younger, I didn't have the really
Hair.
big hair. I had
Yeah.
the curly hair, but not really big.
Yeah. I had the big hair, but it was not as big as some.
I remember growing up when I was a kid in Alaska, and a lot of the guys that were like in high school, so I was in elementary school and the guys were in high school, would be perming their hair and like
Yes.
using curling irons and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
but that happens.
They did that. I was probably in 6th or 7th grade when the boys started coming in with the perms. But
Yeah.
my mom was a
That's
hairdresser.
when you had hair.
Yeah.
Your
My
mom was
my
a hairdresser? That's
yeah,
nice.
my mom was a hairdresser, and she set my dad's hair in perm rods to see how it would come out without doing the permanent stuff. So he went right to the bathroom and wet his hair and took it right out. He said, "No way."
No,
Mm-mm.
that's funny. Hi, Hookah. Welcome in. Yeah, man perms. So now it's man bun.
Yeah, yeah.
Is man bun even in now, or is it something else? I don't even know.
I think I still see some here and there, but
Yeah, some guys though, I would have to say it looks okay.
mhm, mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
just like any hairstyle on people.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't see anybody that's on your side, so welcome and thank
Oh,
you for coming.
yeah.
I
Huga's
don't
on
know
my
how to do that.
side. Jennifer, Juan, and I don't know who else because it's up
Thank
there.
you.
Yeah. So I think it's very exciting, and I'm so glad. So Robyn's been having a little bit of a hard time getting everything to balance out doing her
Yes.
lives, but I think,
I think I did it.
yeah, yeah.
um, last week it's hard for me to explain because I'm not very technical. Uh, but there's another uh, screen up there that my husband has hooked to this.
Oh,
And last week when it was really windy, it knocked out this part of my electric on this side of the house.
oh, wow.
So my computer was actually running on the battery. And when he flicked back on the breaker for me, the sound was actually stuck up on that screen. So if
Really?
I had known that, I could have unplugged the screen and had volume on this.
Uh, well,
So,
here
yeah.
we are now,
Mhm.
though, which
Yeah.
is really cool.
Yeah.
So, does Bob have a man bun, or does he have the um, 80s hair? The permed 80s hair. Pro soccer players pull off the. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I braid Robyn
Yeah,
Hood.
there's a few
Hair.
reels that I see
Very nice.
on Facebook where there's a few of them that are I'm like, okay, you know
Yeah. Yeah.
that works for you. Some of
Mhm.
them I'm like, mm-mm.
Mhm.
But you know,
Just
whatever you
long.
like, just long. Okay, tell
It
him
says it
he
all adds up.
needs a.
Um,
He's probably like, I don't want no perm. They're stinky. Yeah,
no, I don't. I
yeah.
used to get them all the time for, that was how you got your big hair to be bigger. Hi,
I did. Hi, Natasha just came in. I did. So right
Natasha.
now it's Robyn with Garden State so and so. So she's talking about doing different quilting things right after my live with Gail, and then after us, it'll go to Linda at another time, and she'll be talking about another time.
Yeah.
And she's interviewing her husband, which will be really fun. And it's kind of on her channel, it's talking about what was it like when you were a kid. So
Mhm.
really fun to listen to. But yeah, I'm glad that you're up and running, and I think this is a great thing, you know.
Yeah. It doesn't just have to be anybody that wants to quilt, or you can sew anything. And if you have a knitting or a crocheting project that you'd like to do, eventually I'll
Um,
learn how to.
and sit and listen. You can
Yeah.
paint or you
Hmm.
know. Ooh, I want Farrah Fawcett hair. I'm just saying. She had some good hair.
Yeah. So
My son just waved at me.
oh.
I always have to tell him shh, shh. I had to put everybody on mute on me and Gail's live because they were like
Mhm.
getting loud. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gonna say something that's inappropriate. It will happen.
Yes, here too.
Yeah.
But I will probably end it now until I have more ideas. Eventually, uh, I used to go to a channel who no longer exists, and she was able to bring up people's projects and have a show and tell. I'm not,
Oh,
I'm not, if there was a crochet project or something like that, they could bring it up and show it, but I don't know how to do that yet, so I'll figure it out.
well, and I can do a project too.
Mhm, mhm.
Of something. Maybe I'll make an apron
Yeah. Yeah,
or
you make
something.
beautiful aprons.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
aprons.
I just kind of took an apron and made my own pattern.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Oh, yes. Check your smoke alarms and make sure you put new batteries in all of them,
Hmm.
even if they don't need a new battery every year. So, like, spring forward's a good time or whenever you want. Thank you, Huga. Um, yeah, don't just do one. It's kind of like your car, um, your lights on your car. Don't change the one that the light went out. Change both of them at the same time
Hmm.
because soon after the other one will go out.
Yes.
They're fresh, they're new, you know,
Mhm,
blinkers,
mhm.
all
Yeah.
that. Your filters, get your filters changed or cleaned, and whatever has a filter.
Mhm. Definitely.
No, I think that's a great idea. And if if there's a project that, do you think I can do, then I'll try to do it with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I'll just do something else. Like I can, and that's if you want me to come back. I doesn't have to be.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
It doesn't have to be. Sorry, I'm acting like. Sorry.
No, no, no. I would love it.
Yeah, and we can talk about that together too.
Yeah.
Um, on the side,
Mm-hmm.
spring projects. That's a good idea. What is
Spring.
there some stuff that you guys would like to see Robyn do on the channel that you'd like to learn about or see more of? Feel free to comment below or above or
I like
where they see it.
I like a lot of hand projects and machine. So it doesn't matter. The
So you do the embroidery. Is there a pattern for the embroidery drawn on the fabric?
we can either trace it or they have something that they'll if you're in a group where they're mailing it each month, like a block a month. Sometimes most of the time they'll send you a pre-printed piece of fabric, and then you just embroider it. But
I don't know how to embroider.
yeah, it's fun. It's
My mom,
relaxing.
I know my mom did a fern. It was like this
Oh
giant,
wow.
huge thing when I was little, and she
Mm-hmm.
embroidered a whole ginormous, huge fern on a
Wow.
thing.
Wow.
But I don't know. Knitting, I know how to knit a little bit. I learned that when I was like in elementary school. Crocheting, no, I don't know how to do that. But I'm not really I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's my thing. Like I
Yeah.
like the sewing because I can go fast and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe someday.
Yeah. I like it all. But
Ah. Yeah, I only like I can't either sit the whole time and
mm-hmm.
complete either. But also I have a lot of other things that I have to like balance out throughout the day. So that's that too. I don't know if it's like because like I was always so busy
Mm-hmm.
working and stuff like that. And then when my kids were little, I had my own home childcare preschool.
Mm.
So like just balancing the housework, the cooking, the
Yes.
cleaning, the paperwork, the kids and the everything. Like I don't know if that's because I got so used to
Yeah.
a long,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know.
I was a stay-at-home mom, and everybody else that went off to work, I was the babysitter. But I didn't teach them like you did.
Oh yeah. No, I was teaching them sign language,
Oh,
Spanish,
wow.
and then they were learning also how to do sign language, Spanish, and English. ABCs, and
Mhm.
we were always going on field trips and walks and counting by twos and threes and fives.
Wow.
So it's really cool because all the kids, like my main group of kids that stayed the
Mhm.
longest, they all came when they were like 2 years old, right?
Yeah.
Now they all have graduated from high school last year and they all graduated with honors,
Wow, that's something.
right? All of
Yeah.
them. And I'm
Yeah,
like, yes, that's so cool.
it
So,
is.
yeah,
Very nice.
right.
Handwork Mary says you can take with you anywhere. Yes. I was the one that took the kids to and from sports and things like that. So when they're out there practicing, I was doing my
Something.
sewing, my
Yeah.
handwork. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sports. Yeah, my oldest daughter's got 3 kids doing sports, and I'm like,
I know. Yeah.
it's a
My
lot.
my grandchildren are in a lot, and they're actually in. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's karate of some sort. um, and they've gotten their I think red belts now, and my grandson got a red belt with a white stripe.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's getting up there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
So that's pretty
So,
cool because it
mhm,
it usually goes solid and then solid with a
mhm,
stripe
mhm.
and go to the next level, so that's pretty cool.
I'm not sure, but I think they're going for their black belt next. But they're going to wait until my granddaughter is at the same level as them, which won't be long, and then they're all going to go for the black belt together.
Wow.
The three of
That's
them.
really cool.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
cool. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. My youngest was I did it back when I was a teenager for several years. And then my youngest son did it for a couple years. But yeah, and then last year I did some self defense classes
Very
through
nice.
the taekwondo, which was really cool because we did like floor, like if you got pinned down on the floor versus
Mhm.
because normally when you do a self defense class, it's usually you're standing and they teach you how to get out of a
Yes.
standing position. But this
Mhm.
was on the floor, which
Mhm.
was kind of challenging because like my right leg doesn't bend backwards as
Mm.
well because
Mhm.
of a car accident from a long time ago.
Mhm.
Anyways, so yeah, so I had to really push it, and so the instructor lady, and she was just total bad. She was really cool, and
Mm.
she was so cool. She was sitting on me with my arms pinned, and I had to figure out how to get her off,
Mhm.
flip it around to where I was on top of her. And
Wow.
it took me a couple of tries to figure out which way I was supposed to move
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden, bam, I was
Wow.
on top of her, and I was like, yes, yeah,
Nice. Nice.
yeah. So you just have to have that, and I don't know, it just clicked, and I was like, boom.
Yeah.
So it was really cool.
It all adds up, says, anything handmade and easy because I can't focus, ADHD. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, well, and also things that you can take and do a little bit to
Mhm,
set
mhm.
it down and go back to it,
Yes.
you know.
Mhm. Yeah, and then, something that I do will, be I'll be listening to an audiobook
Hi, Rebecca.
and doing my handwork or something like that, and it's actually kinda calming and, actually helps you focus a lot,
It
so
gives you time to think about, like,
mhm,
what do I need to do next? Like, especially
mhm,
if you like are used to doing
mhm.
the type of stitching or whatever that you're doing. Yeah,
That repetitive motion of, you know
right. Well, because often in evenings I'll come and I'll just like last night, my granddaughter got smiley faces at school, and she's like, "Can you right now make me a pillow and a blanket for my baby?" And I'm like, I'm busy, not right now. So last night, I'm like, okay. So I whipped her this little pillow with these little um, ruffles on the side and
Oh,
everything, and I put it under the baby's head so when she got up in the morning, she would see.
oh, that's so
Told her, I
cute.
said, "But you can't have the blanket until you get more smiley faces."
Oh.
And she's like, "Okay." She understands. So I'm like, "I'm not gonna give you all this stuff, right? It's just
Mhm.
you gotta work for it."
That's good, that's good.
Yeah.
Hello, Rebecca,
Oh yeah.
touched by
So
yarn.
I know. It's kind of cool.
Gail said she watched Cobra Kai.
Yeah, it was a movie, like a TV series, or yeah, right.
She said she has never
I
done
think that was like
karate.
the Karate Kid, right? Is that the one?
I'm not sure.
Because there was like the Karate Kid, and then they made like a
Hmm.
third or something, and
I think
I don't know,
so.
something like
I
that.
think, yeah.
I kind of like that, Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
My kids were in karate. I don't even know how they did it, but I actually still have their boards that they broke. And I wrote on them which one did it.
Yeah, that's really cool. You're like, how in the heck? And just,
Yeah.
I like doing
Yeah.
that when I buy like a case of soda and they have that little part where you can put your hand in it.
Hmm.
I would go whack right into it. And people are like, what's happening? Yeah.
Ralph Macchio, yes.
Wax on, wax
Yeah.
off.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. It was such a great movie.
Hmm.
Movies. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah,
Okay.
so I like that. That's cool. And if you want to let me know
Hmm.
if you want to do something together,
Okay.
the same thing together, or
Hmm.
want me or
Yeah.
whoever,
Yeah.
don't feel like you have to have me every time if you don't
Oh
want to.
no, I'd love it. But yeah, we'll come up with something that I'll do anything. So anything that interests you,
Well, I
we'll
think
come up with.
maybe if you can think of something that would be like an easy beginner quilting maybe block or something
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
start with, then people can be like, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
And then you just duplicate it times
Hmm.
however you do the math for that.
Yeah.
I would be measuring and measuring and I don't know how to figure it out the right way, but
It's easy. Yeah.
yeah, that would be neat.
Yeah. Hello, Jan.
So now everybody's got to go watch a little Karate Kid.
Yeah.
That's the
But
movie tonight.
um at 9 o'clock, Linda from another time is going to be on with her husband, and they'll be talking about living in another time and things how
But life,
like that. And
yeah.
so I think I will probably end here and go get a drink so I can sit down and enjoy learning about Richard.
Yeah. Well, this is awesome. I'm so glad that you were able to come on. And thank
I'm
you
glad too.
everybody for coming in.
Thank you, everybody, for coming in, and thank you for joining me, Heather. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was neat talking about all the things, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
we could look at some of your historical fabrics.
yeah.
That would be really cool.
I actually went looking for a quilt top that I have that's all reproduction Civil War fabrics, and I couldn't find it. So I'll look for it this week.
Yeah, so if you find that one of these
Hmm.
times, that would be really fun to look at.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Thank you again, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Have a good night, and we'll see you if you show up over on another time.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.